Hi team, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about something that I super duper care about, which is a failure. So for those playing at home, those that are new to the channel, hi, my name is Lara. I was a very successful producer and then I decided to quit and run away with the circus. And I've been doing that ever since, so I thought I would start a YouTube channel to help people to live their life by their own design, do it your way, figure out the stuff that you need and the stuff that you don't. So today I wanted to talk about failure. Failure is such a good thing. And I feel like when people talk about failure, you can hear my little clicky dog foots. I feel like when you see and hear people talk about failure, it's usually very negatively. There are a lot of things in the world that are telling you that failure is bad. And that is, quite frankly, some BS. Failure is amazing. Failure, not only is it positive, but it's such an important part of learning. You want to know how you figured out how to walk? You failed a bunch of times until you figured out what was right. Failing is an integral stepping stone to learning. I failed a bunch of assignments and I learned how to time manage better. What have I failed? Oh my god, I failed the first 1,000 times I tried to climb a tissue or a silk. But I figured it out eventually. Your body and your brain processes failure in such an important way. It kind of goes, oh, those things are wrong. Let's keep going. It can also be the thing that stops you from, not only stopping you from learning, but also that stops you from starting new things in the first place. Fear of failure is such a massive thing. Trust the person who routinely, and I really do mean routinely, suffers from this. I am in a very physical profession. I absolutely hate the thought that people will see me fail. And it's taken me a really long time to have to go, no, people are going to see you learning. And they will have gone through that process before. No one's gonna look at you and go, wow, what a failure. They're actually gonna be like, man, she's giving it a go. Look at her try and get her insert trick here. So I want you guys to realize that changing your attitude towards failure and changing your relationship with failure is in the end what will make you succeed. But changing this relationship is really tricky because we've been taught it our whole life. It's been instilled in our brain. So how do we change that around? First is to look backwards. This is something that I really love doing and I found super helps me. Look backwards on your life, on all of your failures. The big massive ones. The huge ones that still, even though it was 15 years ago, it's still lodged in your brain somewhere. And instead of going, oh, I failed so hard at blank blank, instead I want you to take those life events and go, what did I learn from that experience? What was the valuable thing that I walked away with? If you follow my other channel, Lara, you will see this in our Sydney season, not the latest one, the one we did before that. It was atrocious. It was, things went wrong, we didn't have enough, oh, a tech dog, hello. Yes, what was I saying? Right, so in that season, it was awful. We had like 3 days of rehearsal, which we mismanaged the hell out of because we didn't realize we missed a bunch of stuff. We hadn't touched transitions until the opening night. And even then we hadn't walked them at all. We had props that we didn't even think about. We had routines we hadn't done. We had tricks we hadn't run in again. And that season was terrible. You might well say that season was a failure. However, what did we learn from that? We learned correct scheduling of rehearsals. We learned how invaluable it is that when you're working together, you're efficient with your time. We learned never, ever take for granted that you will remember your transitions in a show, because you don't. We also learned that when you're taking a show from 6 people into 3 people, we need way more time to figure that out. So all of this information is really important learning that we took away from this epically large kerfuffle. So I want you to go back in your life and think about those things and find the positives that came out of it. Find the stuff that you learned and the stuff that you're not going to repeat because you learned it. Here's a failure that I remember. Here's what I learned from it that was really valuable. And then slowly that will shift in your brain. So when it does fail, and it's life does, you will at some point. I want you to try and go, oh, okay, I just messed up, whatever. What am I gonna learn from this experience? What am I gonna take away? Where is the positive? Where is that really important lesson that I have just learned? And carry that through. There's always something, trust me, you just have to look for it. Failing is awesome, failing is good. Don't let any Lorna Jane meme tell you different. Anything in that cursive like live, laugh, love. You know that kind of font? Don't let any of those tell you that failing is a bad thing. Failing is such a good thing. You just need to treat it in the right way. So once again, everybody, thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Oh, before I go, there are a few amazing podcasts that you can listen to that I think will also help to reinforce this idea. One of them is called Success Through Failure. It is excellent. It interviews all different leaders in different fields. So people who run their own business, astronauts, CEOs, sportsmen, sportswomen, like all of these amazing people. And it talks about their biggest failures and how that got them to the place that they are. Another really good one is Armchair Expert, which I'm sure everyone has heard of. Dax kind of does the same thing. He goes through what are the things that you find that hold you back and how did you push through it? How did you get through it? How do you deal with it? Really, really good. I'll link them in the description below as well. If you have anything that you're like, oh, this is a big thing that happened in my life, but here's what I took away from it, please, please, please put it in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. And to start this community where we can share all the things that we've learned and build this idea of failure being such a positive thing. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, etc. And as always, thanks for hanging out. Bye!